Hello, my name is Kelly Wilk, and I'm a minister here at CCWH. I'm so glad you can be here for our crystals class. So, crystals are natural solids made from minerals and formed on Earth. And there's a very wide variety of shapes, colors, and sizes of crystal. But each type of crystal has a precise atomic arrangement. Crystals have been used for ornamentation, but also for healing for thousands of years by cultures all around the world. An ancient Greek philosopher by the name Theophrastus wrote a text describing gems and their origins. And this work is actually the basis for the scientific classification of gems we still use today. Theophrastus included in his work the ways different crystals can be used for healing, but that portion of his text is overlooked by the modern scientific community. It is my hope that one day a great number of healing benefits crystals convey will be measured and utilized by modern medicine. It is my personal belief through my own experience that crystals help. They just help you feel better. They can uplift, strengthen, reduce stress. I would like to point out here that I am not a physician. If you do feel unwell, please see an appropriate medical specialist. Nothing in this talk is intended as medical advice. But back to crystals. When I work with crystals, it feels to me like a communication, a back and forth, an attunement of sorts. I believe crystals have energies and beneficial properties that we, as humans, can work with. But I don't think I just use crystals up for myself and they are lifeless hunks of rock. The author and crystal healer Philip Permit refers in his book, The Crystal Healer, to crystals as stone people. And I think this can be a beneficial way of thinking of them. When you first come across a crystal, either outside, perhaps in a store, in your own collection, you can spend some time with them. Maybe you just sit holding the crystal, just gaze at it to get a feel for its energies. If it wants to connect and help you, it will. And you'll receive positive energy, kind of warm feelings in return. I'm going to go through a very brief example of a meditation you could do with a stone you've just met, so to speak. You might want to go ahead and gather this stone in your hands, especially if you're a very feeling type person. It can be nice to hold the crystal, perhaps even close to your solar plexus. If the stone is quite large or heavy, you might need to rest it on your lap. And if you're coming at this more as a visual person, you might want to set the crystal on a table or some sort of surface in front of you. And all you need to do is take some deep breaths, keep a nice straight spine. Feel yourself surrounded by light. And feel yourself opening up a little. Reaching out towards this crystal energy near you. You might actually feel a sort of conduit open up between you and the crystal. Perhaps you'll get some particular energies, feelings, sensations. If you're focusing more on gazing at the crystal, looking at it, then you might get some visual stimuli, some images sort of appearing. But you'll get a little taste for what the crystal can do, what it wants to communicate to you, how you might use it. So you can give thanks disengage from this energy. And that's sort of a very brief getting to know your crystal exercise. Now, if you feel drawn to work with a particular crystal, it is a good idea to cleanse it briefly. You can use water for this, smudge smoke, perhaps a large quartz, or even a white light visualization. And then you want to go ahead and set a strong intention for what the crystal is helping you with. This can be simple, very heartfelt. An example might be, I connect with this crystal. It brings relaxation and calm to my environment. We are blessed with light. So you can use that sentence, those statements, as a general outline, saying what good qualities the crystal brings, where you want those qualities to go, and then cover both yourself and the crystal with love or light or grace or God or something else positive. Now, certain crystal shapes lend themselves to different work. And I have found considering a crystal shape very helpful when working with them. For example, if you find a crystal that's a point, this powerfully directs energy. It's very good for sending energy to a particular spot. So an example might be having a rose quartz point and pointing it at the heart area for heartache, or using a citrine point to point at your solar plexus for greater confidence. And again, this can be a simple process. You might want to sit with the stone for a while, attuning to its energies, opening up to spirit. And then, as I said, you just point the stone, set the intention, and the energy is being directed by light, by the crystal's help, by your own energy connection. Some crystals also come in clusters, and this shape emits a more diffused energy. And it's very well suited to projecting certain energies into a room. So for example, it can be lovely to have a natural cluster of fluorite on your desk or in your home office. This really helps with organized thinking, with clarity. You might have an amethyst cluster in a meditation space, amethyst being closely associated with spirit, spiritual practices, and meditation. A clear quartz cluster can be placed in an entryway or a hallway to promote useful and positive flow of energy. Another crystal shape might be a polished stone. This is a stone that's been tumbled either naturally or more commonly by a machine prior to sale. And these stones are pretty easy to find, usually pretty inexpensive depending on what crystal they're made out of. And they're very portable and still powerful. You know, you can just carry such a stone in your purse or in your pocket, and you have that crystal energy with you always. You know, you can keep it with you if you know you're going to run a stressful errand or go to the doctor's or travel. It's also been tremendously helpful to me at times to carry with me a small tumbled stone that has a lot of protective qualities. So this can be a black stone like black tourmaline or hematite. And this way, as you go about daily tasks and you run into, you know, unexpected but unavoidable negative energy, you can send that energy, direct it to your stone. And the stone can safely transmute this energy in a way humans cannot at this time. Now, It should be stated that this stone will require regular energetic clearing after serving you in such a fashion. And I'd like to remind you that cleansing, again, doesn't have to be a long or complicated process. After a few weeks of use, you just hold your stone and you can think cleanse, light, cleanse. See a shower of light, visualize it coming down on your stone. If perhaps you work with smudge sticks or incense, essential oils, these all aid in cleansing crystals beautifully. And it's also certainly possible to cleanse a stone under running water, even though there are a few stones out there that might start to dissolve a bit in water, like selenite, for example. Now, should your crystals begin to look or feel kind of tired or dingy or faded, you can give them a nice thorough cleansing. And then keep in mind it may be time to give them a vacation, maybe in a flower pot to recharge, or maybe even retire them by burying them in the yard or bringing them to a stream. You'll be guided, I think, by your stone and what to do. And I wanted to go over a technique I learned in folk healing. And this technique is based on one taught by Silver Ravenwolf in her book, American Folk Magic. And it in turn comes from years of traditional Pennsylvania folk healers, the tradition known as powwow. And if you're interested, you can go ahead and look into it. It's a very intriguing blend of traditional European, especially German folk healing with Native American and colonial practices. But they have a healing stone technique, and I'm going to present it briefly with my little twist on it. But it basically involves finding a stone. Traditionally, it's just a regular stone, not necessarily some crystal you bought at a store. But I have found smoky quartz works very well with this. And find a stone that you really feel a very strong affinity for, you feel a real connection to. Spend a little time praying and or meditating with this. And it's a companion to you, this stone. It's ready to aid you with emotional energy, with your energy levels, and especially with clearing pain. So if you go ahead and hold the stone and sort of rub it in your hand, and you strongly feel, intend, and visualize all painful energy going to the stone, being absorbed by it. You might want to think or say or chant, pain draw out of, wherever you feel the pain, into this stone. And repeat this until you begin to feel some sort of change in that energy or that pain. And then you can thank your stone companion and clear it when you can. I would like to note that this process works well with physical pain, but also with mental or emotional pain. Next, I wanted to talk about setting up what I think of as a threshold stone. This is like a guardian stone programmed to be sort of a bouncer for your space. And I have found it particularly nice to have one set up near your main door and perhaps the door to your bedroom. If you can, choose a largish stone, tiger's eye, obsidian, jet. Maybe another one jumps out at you for this task. So set the intention that it is blessed by light and empowered to guard your threshold. So only energies beneficial to you, energies that do no harm, may enter. Be sure to thank it for its time and service and cleanse it on a regular basis. So these were just a few examples. There are so many out there. See how these suggestions work for you. Personalize them. Get back to us about how they work for you. And there's a lot more to cover on crystals. So I certainly hope to see you again. Bless you.